Welcome back to another episode of Simplyrobotix, the podcast. I'm your host, Monique. I'm joined by my friend Jaren and Alex to talk about episode 6 of the Disney Marvel What If series. And the title of the episode was What If Killmonger saved Tony Stark. He did something like that. So the episode starts off with the Watcher. I actually have the note here where he's saying that every journey has a beginning, but change one step along the way and you can end up at a very different destination. And so when I tried to rewatch it, and that's as far as I got in the second watch, I just thought about how that was such a foreshadowing of the entire episode in hindsight. So I believe the episode starts off pretty much like Iron Man, if I'm correct, right? Where we see Tony Stark is in the military van, he's driving in the desert or whatever. It gets attacked. He's like taking cover. The bomb comes and he sees the bomb that says like Stark Industries. And is it just like Killmonger kind of comes out of nowhere and is just like
comes out of nowhere and he chucks it like a Nerf ball. And I'm like,
that's what I was saying. Like, did y'all give him super strength in this episode?
Right, he's super strong. And wouldn't that thing like burn his hand or something? Like, I feel like it was heating up. I don't know. I don't know.
Supposedly, those are supposed to be the same missiles that killed Wanda's parents.
Oh, exactly.
True. Remember how big it was in WandaVision? So I'm like, you're not just finna pick up and just chuck a whole missile.
I don't know. And he didn't even have the strength of the Black Panther yet.
Right.
So I'm like, where's the super strength coming from?
Yeah, so he rescues Tony Stark there in wherever they are in the Middle East. And they have like this hero ceremony back in America. And we see Happy. We see whatever.
Pepper.
Thank you, because I was like, when
it's Pepper Pot.
We see Pepper and we see some other people, whatever. And they're just, Stark is like, you know, just appreciating being up, whatever, Killmonger for saving him. And we're seeing a bit of jealousy from one of the bodyguards, right? One of the security.
Because,
no, it wasn't.
So no, here's the thing. Because okay, so this is basically a mashup between Iron Man 1 and the Black Panther story. Mm-hmm. So it pretty much mirrors, but instead of Tony getting the shards in his chest and having to build the suit and everything, he gets saved. All of those events of him, Iron Man. All of those events basically causing him to lose his heart. It leads to Happy becoming his head of security. Piper eventually becomes like sort of like a CEO of the company, and then
there was the third guy, or the other guy.
Name? I can't remember. He was like, he built it in the middle of a desert with a box of scraps.
I can't
remember his name, but I always remember that line.
I took notes and I don't see his name in my notes. Give me one second.
But he gets outed because Killmonger shows up with
his receipts.
Obadiah gets outed because Killmonger shows up with the receipt.
Right. And Killmonger couldn't wait to just take that opportunity to be like, you know, he still has all of the boastfulness, arrogance, if you will, like, you know, they kept that consistent. So he has all the receipts. They fire that guy and they
onto the shade room just out of nowhere.
Right. And Killmonger ends up replacing this guy. They go back to Stark's. That's his home? Does he actually live there? Is that his?
So no, where they went back to the same bar that you see in Iron Man 1. Like a lot of the locations they went to are exactly the same as what you see in the original movie. Right. So it was just I'm pretty sure it was just a bar. I don't think that was his home.
No, but when he went back to where you see like, all the like machinery and kind of like tech stuff. That's what I was jumping to.
That's his
yes.
Yeah, that is his home.
Tower. Yeah.
Stark Tower. So they go, I skipping the bar part because I don't remember that. They
wait, we got to mention the bar part because they do the toast. They honor the Wire. They honor Omar. And it was like,
They did.
King, you best not miss. That's like a shout out to Omar.
Yep, that was.
From the Wire.
This is why
that
you guys
was a Wire reference.
I'd never watched The Wire. Shame on me. So
You know what's crazy? I never watched The Wire either, but I know all the references. But I watch a lot of YouTube, so I just watch people who watch stuff.
I like doing that too. But Yeah, so they have their moment in the bar. They go back to Stark Towers, and Tony is just saying like, we could do, like I said, a lot of great things together. Killmonger is in grad school. What is going on? That he has this like thesis project.
No, this is a thesis from when he was in grad school at MIT.
Oh.
And basically he just like tricks Tony into building his super anime robots.
His Gundam. So basically,
and Tony just felt so gullible in this episode. It was starting to annoy me, but go ahead.
Here's a couple of things. So I feel like Killmonger in this episode was what he should have been in the movie. So in the movie, he was unapologetic. I'm taking everybody down. I'm the bad guy, main character, big bad guy energy. In this, he's finessing everybody. He's like stroking Tony's ego. So he's so slick with it that nobody's bothering to ask any questions. For one, he knows Tony's a tinkerer. So if you present him with something that has any type of potential, he's gonna tinker with it. Like if you look at Ultron, he literally built Ultron just to see if he could do it. Like there was no premise to him doing it. Like he did all of those things just because. And the worst thing you could do is tell him he can't build it. So when he presented it to him, it was just like, he basically was like, I built the whole thing. I just don't have the enough power source to like get it powered. That instantly triggered Tony. He was like, we're going to figure this out before the night is over. So instead of you seeing him build his Iron Man suit, he's working on this Gundam, which I think is dope because it was basically a shout out to Michael B. Jordan because he's a huge anime fan. He was like, why would you build a Gundam? And he was like, I like anime.
Yeah, because even Killmonger's outfit is a callback to Vegeta from Dragon Ball. It looks really similar, color and everything. So
yeah, so they end up hitting a wall with the whole power source, and Killmonger's like, well, I have this little piece of vibranium, which is like the whole ring thing, right? It was a ring. His dad's ring. And they see that it has the potential to really power the machine, but they might need more vibranium. So
here's my thing. The not asking questions was cool up until a point. This man just showed up with one of the rarest, strongest metals in the world, and you're not trying to figure out where he got it from?
Right. Like they just skirted right around that. And that's stuff like that. That's why Tony was annoying me, because I was like, Tony in this universe is dumber than real Tony, because I don't understand why he's just letting things happen.
Tony, Rhodey, Pepper, and Happy, like nobody was asking like real
Pepper
questions.
kind of was, but she wasn't pushing back enough.
Yeah. So they end up coming up with this mission, which is to go get vibranium from the guy.
Ulysses Claw.
Right. I was about to call him like
they brought back.
Right. So it's all like a setup. They get there, but he's on the plan to a certain extent, and like you said, Jaren, like Killmonger's really just finessing one person, this person, that person. Like there's so many twists and turns within this one plan, and they end up as he's like taking down the guards. Was Ironheart was there? Not Ironheart. What's that guy's name?
Rhodey. He was War Machine.
War Machine. Sorry, War Machine. Well, not War Machine exactly, but he was there. He gets kind of like set up.
Rhodey was played by Don Cheadle instead of what's his name? Terrence Howard. Because in the first Iron Man, it's Terrence Howard. It's not Don Cheadle. Remember, the first Iron Man is Terrence Howard. It's not Don Cheadle.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it really should have been Terrence Howard technically. But yeah, no, we got the Cheadle though. I love the Cheadle.
It's canon now.
It's canon.
Yeah, so he's like kind of going against the guards. He gets taken down. Killmonger is like shooting up the guards. Then T'Challa, aka Black Panther, shows up, and they ends up having a fight to the point where Killmonger like kills him. And at first I was like, no, he's not dead, like but he was dead.
It was so fast too. I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And see, here's the thing, because Killmonger, my favorite part about this episode is that Killmonger is still the same hypocrite that he was in the movie. Because he's talking all this stuff about what Wakanda should have did and leaving other people behind. but
you're killing your own people.
You killed 2 black men in order to make your plans go forward. So who's really wrong here? You know what I mean? So he killed.
Not even that. You killed a fellow soldier. Like, you know what I'm saying? You killed your brother in arms.
Mm-hmm.
So what that really say about
made it seem like they killed each other because he put the gun in Rhodey's hand and he put T'Challa's claws in Rhodey's chest. So he made it seem like they killed each other.
Which is crazy because if anybody would have actually, and this was what was bothering me about nobody asking questions, because if you sit back and really analyze the situation, that's not how Rhodey moves and that's not how T'Challa moves.
Exactly. Like, T'Challa took out all those guards without killing them, so he's just going to kill Rhodey at the last second? Right. Why are we asking questions? Thank you.
Right. So, I actually don't remember how they end up getting back to Stark's office. So what happens with Clap?
So essentially, he's trying to start a war.
No, before we go there, the funerals.
Wait, but I don't remember how they get out of that. Like, after T'Challa and Don Cheadle's character are killed, does it just cut to the funeral?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So Rhodey's casket, of course, had the flag on it, just like a regular military funeral. T'Challa's casket, which was floating because Wakanda is fancy, had the Wakandan alphabet on it, and that's why I had to break out my book that I have from the special edition Blu-ray, because in the back of the book is the Wakanda alphabet that they invented for the movie. Mm-hmm. And on his casket, it says Wakanda Forever in this script. I also had the script on my arm. Like, I used this book to get my tattoo. Can y'all see it? Okay. It's like, don't freeze. But yeah.
So cute.
Nerded out. So I just wanted to point that out. I did not want to miss the funeral part. And it also made me a little extra sad because Chadwick died in real life. So I was like, okay, I'm having a moment.
Mm-hmm. Which is so interesting because I figured after him passing, they would change that. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I guess they did have enough time to change it.
But instead, they had the Watcher come in at the end and say, like, a hero never dies. Can we also say that in this episode, I don't know about you guys, but I can hear that he was sick. He sounded so tired. Mm-hmm. Like, you could hear it. Like, ugh.
And only 2 short scenes for him as well. So
yeah, but in those scenes, he sounded exhausted.
Yeah, he definitely didn't sound like was the second episode, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't sound.
You could tell they did this episode a lot later. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So after the funeral, they come back to Stark Towers, if I'm correct, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And Killmonger goes back to Tony.
Right. And he's just trying to, like, you know, I think they're just talking about how, like, unfortunate all that stuff was. But Tony's like, yeah, it's real unfortunate. And then pulls up the security cameras, basically. And it shows Killmonger, like, you know, him in action. And he was the actual reason for these people dying. Mm-hmm. And I believe they end up kind of...
Shout out to Jarvis, because Jarvis sees all.
Jarvis don't miss.
They end up kind of squaring off. I guess I don't remember what kind of word exchange that they had, but
Tony did build his own Iron Man suit, but he built the Iron Man suit that functioned without him, because that's what happens. Killmonger's like, screw it then. I mean, I did what I did. Let's keep it moving. I ain't want to add you to the list, but I guess we're going to do this. And then that's when Tony, like, summons his Gundam, and then they go at it.
And it's powered by the vibranium.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then Killmonger takes off his shirt. And another thing that I noticed, and I think it's because this story takes place earlier than the original Black Panther movie, he doesn't have as many
scars. Kill scars.
So he doesn't have as many kills.
You got a good eye, because I put that in my notes too.
You know, I was checking out his chest. You know, I have to check it out. Make sure the animators and the character designers got it right. Shout out to them
for research.
Yeah. But
I was looking for a friend.
He fights the robot thing. Tony's like, you know, it has your moves or whatever, so you can't really go against it. But he does. He defeats it, and then he kills
he's gonna
Tony.
Freestyle it.
Oh, freestyle it. Mm-hmm. And then he kills Tony, and I think after that moment we see him actually mark himself, like, you know, another one. And I thought that was pretty interesting too.
And
He like
another,
stabs him with a something like a spear or something
Yeah,
yeah,
in
he
the
like
shoulder,
with the Dora spear, and then he
and then
used
he's
a
like, "I'm
little
really
dagger to
sorry."
mark himself.
He's like,
But
I did. He was like, I didn't want you. I didn't want to. I was hoping you didn't make the cut or something like that.
and I put in my notes this one quote because I was like, this is so hoteppy for no reason. But anyways, Killmonger, when before he like gives Tony the final stab, he was like, the difference between you and me is that you can't
Oh,
see the difference between you and me.
oh yeah.
And I was like, oh
opening
God, Hotep
that
foot is gonna
third
eat this
eye.
up, Jesus. Okay.
He's opening that third eye, aligning the
Okay.
chakras.
Because the white man think he got the same struggle as me, but he don't
But it's
understand the
so
plight
weird
of the
that
black
Tony didn't ask.
American man.
But is it that easy to stroke each other's egos and then nobody asked any questions? And I don't know. It was weird because I
Yeah.
feel like Tony should have saw that coming.
Tony does have a big ego. But you know what? I just had a thought. Because remember how I said earlier that Tony's stupidness was really bothering me?
Hmm.
But it's actually in character when I really think about it because Tony didn't get smarter and his personality didn't really change until he almost died.
Right.
And
That's what
being
it is.
captured
He
by the
didn't
10
spend all that
rings.
time in the
That
cave, so
never
he didn't get
happened.
that third eye open.
Exactly. He never got captured by the 10 rings, so he never grew as a person. So him being all ego stroked and stupid, I guess is on brand. Okay, we can continue. Side thought.
So after he kills Tony, I feel like he. How does he kill Claus? Because does he go back to Wakanda after this?
Yeah, he does the same thing like in the movie. To get into Wakanda, he brings Claw's body. And I guess
And
he.
look, so Claw's the one that shows him how to get to. I guess there's a certain point that's like.
Oh, they were in the Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Driving up to the shield. Right. And then he betrays him.
Because Claw called him a boy, and I don't like
Right.
that. I was like, boy is a white racist word. So he
You
killed
know
him.
what you were saying. Well, yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
remember in the movie he kept referring to all of the Wakandans as savages.
He said it on this episode too. So yeah. So Claw got taken out again. And they he brought the body as an offering. And you know the Wakandans already knew that Claw was like stealing their vibranium somehow. So he's a pretty decent offering, I guess, to get in good with them.
Right. But as I guess Killmonger is being embraced or welcomed to Wakanda, we see Shuri's kind of side eyeing the whole thing. She's like,
She's also younger. At first, I
she's a
thought I
lot
was
younger.
tripping, and then I watched it again. I was like, "No, she's younger," but then it makes sense because it takes
Because it's
place
Iron Man 1
earlier.
timeline.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Come
So
on,
it's
young
like,
Shuri."
it's
She had
basically
questions
10,
from the time he hit the gate. She was like,
okay.
"Who is
Yeah.
this outsider? Cousin or
It's
Yeah.
not?"
basically 10 years earlier. So she's like 7.
She's the only one asking the questions.
A freaking genius. I love it. But
Yeah, go ahead.
T'Chaka just welcomes him in with open arms. I was like, wow, you just gonna replace your son like that?
And this
Okay.
is the,
I
this is the
see
one thing
how
that
it
threw
is.
me. So, is this is to go back to Loki? Is Killmonger a fixed point like
Mm.
Loki? So, like it basically like the I forgot what they're called. The Kang and them were basically like if he never went to what is it called?
Are you talking about Nexus beings?
No,
Yeah, if
no,
he
it's like it's the absolute thing.
what's the
Like the
place that
girl.
he had to go to, and that was the one thing that made him stop chasing them stones. The time traveling people that be
Oh,
what
okay.
is that called?
You talking about the TVA?
Yes, if he never went to the TVA, no matter what universe or what situation or what variant he was always going to try to take over Earth and like
Mm-hmm.
use the Tesseract. Like the TVA
Right.
basically was the only thing that stopped that. So is it going to be a thing with Killmonger? No matter how the cards play out for him, he's
He's
always
going to
going to
try to take
try to
over Wakanda.
overthrow Wakanda.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it seems
Because I'm
like.
also like they didn't make it very clear because it seems like he's doing vengeance, but I don't know if that's me assuming just from the movie because that's how all of the other episodes have been. Because I'm also like King T'Chaka, you know you killed his boy daddy.
Right.
You
Right.
don't think the bill come and due, and that's why he at your like you never it never once crosses your mind that he's probably here because he knows I killed his daddy.
Of all the African proverbs that are out there, there ain't got one. There's not one that talks about the son coming to give vengeance for his father. See, I need to know, were there black people on this writing team? Because now I got questions.
I'm just like, y'all completely, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know. I don't know if this is like keep your friends close and your enemies closer, but I'm also just like, you know what you did. There's only one reason why he would pull up to your doorstep.
Exactly.
And you mean to tell me you killed this boy's daddy and you haven't been following his trajectory all this time? You just went on about your merry way?
Right. I mean, he did that in the movie too. He wasn't the smartest. He wasn't the brightest bulb in the lamp.
So, as Killmonger is there, right, getting acquainted with his family, I guess, like, oh, that's the thing. As Killmonger was arriving with clouds, he had gotten in real good with the military. So he was sent on like a military mission to go to Wakanda to like avenge Tony's
him
death.
killing Tony gave the military exactly what they wanted. They had been wanting to take over Stark Enterprises and everything, but they knew as long as Tony was there, that wasn't going to happen. So now that he done plucked Tony out of the picture, they get to make all of these super soldiers, super robot soldiers, and go wherever they want, do whatever they want.
So they mass produced them, and we see, as we're in the Wakanda Tower, if you will, that these bots are starting to come into the shield, right? Well, they're not coming in, they're just approaching the shield. And Killmonger's like, well, you know, if you just let the shield down, they're gonna basically malfunction because, I don't know, some frequency thing or something like that. So
science words.
Yeah. So they basically all still get ready for like war to fight these bots, if you will. And they let the shield down and the bots come in, and then, as Killmonger said, they just start to like stop working. And everybody's like, oh, yay, great.
Did y'all keep the clicker he had in his hand?
Yes, exactly. After a little while.
Like, oh my gosh, you were right.
Yeah, after a while, it cuts to Killmonger and Shuri, and he has his clicker in his hand, and he clicks it, and then the robots kind of come back, and then everybody's like, oh, like, it's really time to go, you know? And they just get to it. We see T'Challa's mom, I don't remember what her name was.
Ramonda.
Oh my god, this is my favorite part of this whole episode.
It shows that she is a former Dora Milaje, which ties back to the comics. Because for people who don't know, the Dora Milaje are not only the king's guards women, they are his ladies in waiting. And T'Challa basically broke that tradition. Usually, whoever is the king ends up marrying one of the Dora Milaje. And if you know, you know. T'Challa was like, I'm trying to marry Storm from the X-Men. I don't want one of these girls. They can stay my guards, but I'm not marrying one of them. And that sets off a whole nother chain of events. But that's another day for another story.
Period. That was me backing you up. I was like, that. Because I don't know a lot about comics, but I do know about that storyline. Yes.
And fun fact.
I love
Eric Jerome Dickey. Eric Jerome Dickey wrote T'Challa and Storm's love story.
Really?
Aww.
Yes, it is so
good. Iconic. Okay, so
R.I.P. Eric Jerome Dickey.
As soon as the episode, well, maybe not when it finished, but like the day after this episode dropped, Pop Funko announced that they were releasing a new Killmonger and a new Queen Ramonda wearing the Dora outfit. Yes. I have already pre-ordered
good, y'all.
I have already pre-ordered mine. I'm ready. My body is ready. But I have one concern, because when I was watching the animation, I don't know if they did this to throw us off or what, but Okoye is still wearing the colors of the general. Like, the general wears like a more orange type outfit, where the other doors wear more red. But Okoye was still wearing the more orange outfit. And I would think that she would be wearing the red outfit if Ramonda was still the general. So that's what
I think Okoye was still the general. Ramonda's the queen. Like, she the queen.
So she just came out of retirement temporarily?
I think. I don't know.
I
feel like that's an Easter egg. That's gonna come back later.
I have no idea. But
it was so sad.
The fight was good.
T'Challa?
Yes, and the tears.
That fight scene was really good though.
It's like emotion.
And I thought it was cool that they brought back the rhinos.
Yes,
right. Yes. Part. Yes. Okay. So,
but they did not bring back Daniel Kaluuya's character. I didn't see him.
Well, also it takes place in an earlier time.
Oh, it is in an earlier time. You're correct. I would say there's no Mbaku either, but it's also an earlier time, so it's fine. Anyways.
I don't. They ended up defeating all the robots, right?
Yes.
They did. They defeated, and Killmonger gets more accolades now in Wakanda, and I
Everything
feel like
is falling into line so perfectly, and that kind of
yes,
bothered me.
yes, but one way or another, we cut to a scene still at Stark Towers, and we see Pepper.
Oh wait, before
I'm
you say
waiting.
that, I have one more comment in my notes that I just wanted to say. When Killmonger yells "Wakanda forever," it was so dry. I hate
It
it.
made
Oh
my
yes,
skin
I was
I
like,
didn't
crawl.
like
what
I
is
was
it.
like,
that? What's
you
up bass in your
fake
throat?
dusty hotep. You don't
Ugh.
deserve to utter those words.
There was no
Yeah.
soul in it.
I
Look at
was
me like
enraged.
dimming my light at the end of the podcast. Anyways, it was no soul in what he in his Wakanda Forever. I hated it.
It
I
just
didn't like it
sounded
either.
yuck.
Yeah, so we cut back to Stark Towers. We see
Wait,
Pepper.
does he already take has he already taken the heart shaped herb yet? Is he already the panther yet?
Oh, you don't know. After they,
I,
yeah, you're skipping ahead. After the
Okay.
robot fight is when he becomes Black Panther.
Right.
oh, okay.
Because he
Hmm.
goes to
The
um
ancestral plane, and he sees
Oh
T'Challa.
yes, thank you.
I'm gonna need
I
them to
thought that was
stop.
after the Pepper part. Okay.
Hmm.
Yes, I'm gonna need them to stop playing the ancestral plane because they make it seem like everybody just lies around like a cougar in the like a panther in the ancestral plane, and that's not the ancestral plane. And they make it seem like you just wake up in the ancestral plane, and that's not how it works. So in Wakanda, remember when they were first flying in, and T'Challa's like, I'll never get used to this view, and you see that giant panther.
Hmm.
I hate to be that person, but I'm gonna be that person. In the comics, that panther is alive and
Okay.
it speaks. And you don't get to the ancestral plane unless that panther tells you can go. You can take all the herb you want. You ain't going unless boss says you may pass. You
And
don't
she would
go
never let Killmonger go there.
because I think they did this for the
That's why in
movie,
the
but in the
movie
comics,
he
it
ended up
takes
in his.
more than you just taking the heart shaped herb to get to the ancestral plane.
Because
Like you don't just go.
I was gonna say in the movie when he took the heart shape, or he ended back up in Oakland. He
Hmm.
didn't go
Right.
to the ancestral plane.
That was interesting too.
So why did he go this time? I mean, T'Challa did read him for filth. I appreciated that, but
So
it
was
still
it worth
doesn't
it,
really
cousin?
make sense.
Did you get everything you wanted with your
Okay.
trifling self? And all the other Panthers in the background looking at him like,
Was it worth it? Did you get the flowers? Did you get what did Gabrielle say?
because he said,
I wrote it
your,
down. Hold on.
he was like, you didn't earn it.
Because you stole it, power
Yeah.
unearned can be a very volatile force, cousin. It will get the best of you eventually on your plane or ours. I was like, whoop.
Right.
And that sounds like a promise, not a threat.
It's going to come back
Yes.
around full circle, which I think it is. I think he's biting off more than he can chew, but he's just like, this is the plan. I'm on the path. And I also feel like this is why he was able to get as far as he did, aside from everybody just losing their common sense and asking questions. He's the only one that actually had a plan. And as long
Right.
as he didn't deviate from the plan, he was fine.
It was a good plan. It worked. It flowed. But not all
Right.
money is good money. So
Say that.
that would mean it's going to end up well. Just because it went well, don't mean it will end up well. So
But it's interesting because he does have, when he takes the herb and becomes the panther, he is wearing the suit that he wore in the movie. So
yeah,
his suit isn't a panther suit; it's a
it's that
leopard.
suit.
Yes. Yes.
So I ain't gonna lie, that's a bad suit. Much as I can't stand him, that is a bad suit with the little gold in the little print.
It's cool. I actually preferred T'Challa's suit, but that's just me. I want to see Shuri in the suit, but that's another conversation for another day.
It happens, which is just so interesting. Why people are like, "Oh, she shouldn't be the next Panther," but there's literally, I think the only person T'Challa couldn't beat where was Doom. There is there's a trade where Doom gets the best of him, and I don't think he dies. I think they have to like freeze him until he can like fully heal or something. But
Mhm.
Shuri picks up the mantle, and Shuri. It's interesting how they flipped it because actually in the comics, T'Challa was more tech savvy, and actually wasn't really rocking with the like traditional stuff. And Shuri was the one that kind of like met it in the middle, and she did a little bit of their, like, I don't want to say magic, but a lot of their cultural practices, and she met it with the tech.
The spirituality.
Yeah, she kind of like figured out how to merge the two, and she ends up taking up the mantle as Panther, and she's bad when she do it. She wrecks shop. So I'm kind of hoping they go that route. Somebody else suggested Okoye, and I'm like, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I wouldn't be mad at it, but no, Shuri. I want it to be Shuri.
But I think just going as Okoye's character, I don't think that's something she would rock with.
That's not something
she's like very steadfast in tradition.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to state for the record, just in case any of these people are listening, the only people who don't want Shuri to be Black Panther are the same people who think Avatar Korra was a worse Avatar than Aang, okay? We can talk about this. Y'all can fight me. Just say you're sexist and go. But anyways.
I think we're going to have like an Avatar roundtable.
Yeah. I hate to be that person. Korra was a horrible Avatar.
What? No, we're going to talk about this off the record.
Yeah, no.
I already know that.
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna try and have an Avatar roundtable. Because Alex, you're not the only one I know that feels that way. But Jaren, you're also not the only one I know that feels that way. And we should just come together.
Don't debate me, debate your mama. Korra was trash.
Together, because I have so many things to say on a lot of topics. But we're gonna stay on topic here.
Yeah. So I mean, we're coming down to the end. The last scene again is Pepper in Stark Towers, and then like the chair is facing the window, and she sees something like on the desk, I think.
And before she goes into her office, I mentioned Ross is talking about bombing Wakanda. I was like,
oh right.
They're about to go to full out war. Like it's about to be D-Day. And of course, General Ross is a hothead, so he always goes in guns blazing. He doesn't do any research. He doesn't ask any questions. He just always come in hot.
Yes.
So he's about to wreck shop.
This is the end.
He also mentioned in addition to the robots, he wanted to use all of the missiles and the new missile that Tony was working on. It's supposed to be like this new missile that once he drops it, that's like the mic drop of missiles. And Pepper was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, so America is going to end when this story continues because Wakanda, please, that's child's play. But yeah, so in Pepper's office, chair turns around,
and you know the chair turns around and it ends up being Shuri. And does Shuri have the paperwork? And she's like slid it over.
She has like a little tablet. She's like, allow me to show you the receipts.
Basically,
we have both been played.
To catch a predator.
Yeah, but Pepper knew something was up. It was just like nobody else would just, follow her hunch. And like Alex said, like she didn't have a backbone either, really, with it.
But I don't know. I don't think it was the backbone. I think it's Pepper knows she's a woman surrounded by a bunch of men, and it's only so much she can say and do before she's either A, pushed out of the picture entirely, or B, because you see the way Killmonger was basically turning everybody against Tony against everybody. She knew either A, she would be removed from the picture completely, or B, he would figure out a way to turn her into an enemy of Tony. So she was just like, let me coast until I can find my end. And I don't think she found it yet until Shuri showed up.
Right. She didn't have any proof. And also the only man who ever listened to her was Tony, and he did. So
Right. Well, I mean, that
cliffhanger.
Yeah, I actually would want a little bit more from this episode because I want to see.
To ask. Do y'all feel like that cliffhanger kind of hurt the episode a little bit?
No, I don't think it hurt the episode.
I'm excited.
Okay.
I think I want to keep going. That up in season 2.
Yeah, I wanted to see more.
Yeah.
I actually feel like all the episodes this season are truly going to continue in season 2. I don't think anything's actually connected, at least not yet.
It is connected. Can we talk about this bum ass watcher?
Let's talk about
it. Because this is the episode where he basically you can start to see his actual form now. He literally is watching everything happen.
You can see his form a lot last episode too with the zombies.
Because before you saw his actual face with the zombies, this time we actually got some of his body.
He was there.
Because he used to look really transparent. You can kind of see the galaxy through him. Now we can actually see he's starting to solidify. That's the right way to say it.
And
I'm just you're really finna sit back and watch this happen, and then you're gonna come in the end and talk about heroes never die.
What were you
But
saying,
anyways,
Alex?
I
Huh?
heard someone on YouTube said that they think that because we're starting to see him more, that means he's getting like very close to stepping in on something.
He
Like
in the
he's gonna
comics, he could
interfere.
never stay out of stuff. He was always like, "Don't do that." You just hear him pop up, "Don't do that,"
Mm-hmm.
or he'll just slide somebody to the left and put him on another path. So it's so interesting to see that he's like literally like, "Y'all got this." So I wonder if this is building up to something because we
Mm-hmm.
keep getting a teaser shot in all of the trailers of kind of like an Avengers like mashup, but make it
Mm-hmm.
in the galaxy.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, when are you gonna start plucking the 18? Because this
How
is
many
episode
episodes are
6. I think
left?
we have 9.
3.
So we got three
There's three
more.
more left. Well, maybe
We got
he'll
3 more.
start doing that interference stuff next season.
Because he played
Strange.
He did. He
Strange. He
played
was like, got
Strange.
to see it through, my boy.
Oh my gosh.
Got to
I
see it
wasn't on
through.
the Strange episode, but since you brought that up, I had a thought, right? So at the end of Strange's episode, when he ended up inside the little ball and he was by himself, I was like, is that little ball he's sitting inside of the Power Stone? Am I weird for thinking that? Is that random? Does that not make sense? He could get plucked and end up in someone else's universe inside of the Power Stone. He's all powerful, so it makes sense.
It does make sense. But in his universe, it was more about the time stone versus the power
Hmm.
stone. So,
But
but
did
I
he
don't
turn
know because now
into a
that you
Power
say
Stone?
that, when they zoom out, it looks like the power
I
stone.
mean, all the stones are very closely related. Like Wanda is the Mind Stone and the Reality Stone. I mean, she's all of
Just
them, but she's mostly
just
Mind and Reality.
broke my brain.
And the Tesseract made her. You know, I promise I'm not high. My
Because now
brain's
I'm like,
weird.
it looks like the power stone. Because when you zoom out, it does look like the power stone, and he's like the most. He ends up being the most powerful being in that universe.
And I didn't even notice it until like the third time I watched the episode. I was like, that looks like the Power Stone. And he's
Another
all
thing,
powerful right now.
do y'all think they was trolling us with that Party Thor episode? Because I know there's a list out that said this episode was
Yes.
supposed to be the Party Thor episode, and then I don't know if Marvel switched it up because it got leaked or
Yeah, they're trolling us.
Yeah.
Because you know Marvel likes to put out trailers that aren't actually going to
they
happen.
always be lying. That's why whenever everybody gets hyped about a trailer, I be like, I want to see the
Yeah,
movie.
we'll wait. Yeah, like the
Just wait for the
Spider-Man trailer.
movie.
I'm like, well, half of this is a lie, so we'll wait.
I still need to go watch. Was it Homecoming? I think that's the only one I have not seen.
The first one,
No.
Far
What's
From
the
Home.
Far
Far
From
from
Home?
home.
I haven't
Far
seen
From
that one.
Home was a bop. Woo, that was a movie.
Well, we have reached the end of the episode.
We have. We just
It
went
was
real long.
fast. Jaren, we don't have to re-record this.
Right.
And your internet held it down. Um, can you both tell the listeners where they can find you on social media?
Yes. Oh, can I make one comment about the voice actors?
Sure.
So all of the original actors came back to voice their parts, with the exception of Tony, Shuri, and Pepper. Literally
But the guy
everyone
who
else was
voiced
there.
Tony,
The
the
guy
guy
who
who
voiced Tony, yes, because I looked up his IMDb. He's
he
out here in
voices
these streets.
Tony Stark in all of the animations, all of the video
Yes.
games. That's usually their go-to for Tony.
So basically his career is being the TV guy, because he does the TV voice of Tony. He does the TV voice of Poe from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
He has a voice on Attack on Titan. He does voices on the Miles Morales show,
Mm-hmm.
and the Spider-Man show, and some other
Major
stuff. Like I was just scrolling through it.
major props to him because voice acting is not easy.
It's not.
Right.
I love the voice actors. The voice actor for Shuri, her name is Ozioma. I'm not going to mess up her last name, but I'm pretty sure the first name is correct. The only thing I've seen her in is Runaways, and she was in a supporting role, but I love Runaways. It's a great show. Very
Runaways is a good
underrated.
show.
Very, very underrated. It's on Hulu. And then the lady who voiced Pepper, I ain't never seen her in nothing. She did 8 episodes on Grey's Anatomy near the beginning of the show, so that's all I can give her as far as what I've seen.
Yeah, but Grey's Anatomy's on like season 36.
Right.
Basically.
Right. 72.
Yeah,
So
overall, that was a great episode. It looked amazing. It was cool to hear Michael B. Jordan come back. Because
mhm.
even though like I didn't agree with his logic and his ethics, I really enjoyed the way they did the Killmonger um, character. I'm very interested to see how they're going to do Wakanda Forever.
Whew, I can't wait.
Yeah.
How are they going to explain that? How are they going to like move on? What is the story going to be? Because I remember when he passed, Ryan Coogler was like, I haven't started writing anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how that. Mm-hmm. And then I wonder if that's going to prompt them to bring Killmonger back.
Because he can be.
In the comics, he never really dies. He always gets brought back.
I mean,
always.
when
Him
we
and
in the first Black Panther,
they always find a way to come back.
I mean, in the first Black
Marvel,
Panther, we
really
never saw what happened to his body. Like, it's very easy to bring him back.
And I mean, if they could save Agent Ross, they could save him.
That's true.
All I know is Black Panther 2 comes out the day after my birthday next summer, my 30th. So I'm just like so excited. Because
rightfully so.
A Marvel movie comes out near my birthday every single year. I love my birthday. July 7th, buy me presents. So Black Panther 2, we moved.
The only thing I'm sad about is we're not going to get that cinematic, because like there's just, in addition to seeing a Marvel movie, you kind of got to see it in theaters, and then it's like really cool to get that audience reaction, like you're all like.
Well, I saw an article that said Disney is not releasing any more movies on streaming first. Everything is theatrical now.
Yep. Oh, does Jaren just freeze?
And if it's one thing that'll get people out to the theaters, it's a Marvel movie. Because I thought I was doing something slick and went to go see Shang-Chi at like super early in the day, thinking on a Monday, thinking nobody was going to be there, in the theater was packed.
Ooh, Shang-Chi was good, child.
But I did my due diligence, and I bought like this. It's a little extra, but I need my distance. Bought the seat next to me, and then the other seat.
I paid for. So when I went to see it, I bought one of the. You know how in some theaters the back row will have a space for wheelchairs, and then the accompanying seat. So I paid for the accompany seat. And, there's always a sign like, if someone needs this seat, you got to get up. I was like, no one's going to get this seat because I paid for it and it's reserved. So that's how I got my space.
I love that.
It was good. Shang-Chi, the only thing wrong with Shang-Chi was Awkwafina. Everything else was perfect. They could have casted anybody else to play her. But anyways, don't get off topic. We've been here for a long time.
What's your social media handles?
Oh, yes. You can follow me at... I just changed my follow me on my cosplay pages. The Great Cosplay. Just follow me there. My other social medias I don't even use like that. The Great Cosplay, all one word. I'm Alexandra the Great. Thank you, people, for having me again.
And I'm Jan, but everybody calls me Jay.
At Jaren Murphy.
Oh, at Jaren Murphy. And just a heads up for people watching, I actually prefer to be called Jay. Okay, y'all, people that are hitting me up are slaughtering my name.
Oh.
And I'm just like, please, just Jay. Just keep it simple. It's Jay. But yeah, my friends and family can call me by my name. But if you just see me out and about, just say Jay. It's a 10-minute thing. You still ain't saying it right.
Oh gosh.
Let's just go with Jay.
Relatable. That's why I tell people call me Alex, and then my name turns into Alexis somehow. So.
Oh dang. Yes, and you can find me on all social media platforms at Simplyrobotix. Use the hashtag Simplyrobotixpod to join in the conversation. Thank you all, and thank you viewers and listeners and all that. And the episodes are coming back.
Yay!
See ya.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes, thank you for having me. This was a blast.
Wakanda forever.